Hey guys, how are you be doing, Mo?
Hey Saj, I'm good. Can't complain.
Yeah.
It's
How's Dallas?
Dallas was amazing.
Yeah.
Um, Amazing weather, great food, great vibes. The event went flawlessly. Had an amazing time out there. Uh, the crowd, it's different being out of the state, right? Like,
100%.
you get to work with new vendors, you get to meet new people. Like around here, we've worked with most of the vendors already and all. Growing our network, right? As we talked about in our introduction
Hmm.
episode and all. But no, I had a great time. Thank you, Dallas, for having us. And we look forward to being back. But how is your Christmas prep coming along?
It's coming out good. So we're just gonna jump into today's topic. Today's topic is
Do you need
do
dot
you
dot
need
dot?
Do you need, let's start with a wedding planner.
Maybe. I
Maybe?
think it's a controversial topic, right? I
Yes,
think
we're
they offer a great value,
hmm
right? But I want to hear from you.
I would say you do not need a wedding
I'm
planner.
surprised.
Yeah.
The
You
wedding
you
planner is saying maybe.
You don't need a wedding planner. You do not even need a photographer.
iPhones are really good.
iPhone's great. We don't need you, Mo.
I'm
But uh
You can see me at the food line then.
but wedding planner, you do not need one, but they do help and they provide a lot of
Hmm.
value. So you might want one. But a wedding, we're gonna break it down into wedding planner, wedding coordinator.
Are they the same thing though?
Not at all. And that's going to be another episode. Very, very different. But wedding planners, maybe. Wedding coordinators, 100%. Yes, you do need a wedding coordinator. Because last episode, we talked a little bit about the average cost of a wedding in this area.
And it's
Eh,
pricey.
It is expensive. If you're spending that much money on a wedding, you definitely get, you're buying a house, you're going to get a real estate agent,
Hmm.
you're going to court, you're going to get a lawyer,
Yep.
you are having a big wedding, you're going to need a wedding coordinator.
That makes sense. I think that's a good perspective and
Hmm.
good way to put it.
Yeah. Yeah. So a planner, if you do not have a full-time job, if you do not have a family, that's, that you need to deal with, like kids, and school and all that stuff, and you have all the time in the world, you don't need a wedding planner. You can do everything yourself. You can start 6 to 8 months before. You can start booking vendors, start talking to vendors, start negotiating with vendors, start reading all the contracts.
But I do think having a planner also allows you to be more creative in a way, right? I
100%.
think it's also a board where you can kind of bounce ideas off of.
100%. Especially if your spouse is not available all the time. People call me.
Hmm.
Brides have called me. Grooms have called me to bounce ideas from me. Hey, my wife is, unavailable. She can't. She has a lot going on. She cannot focus on the wedding right now. I need your help. What to do
Yeah,
now?
and you've done hundreds of weddings, so
Hmm.
I think your viewpoints are pretty valuable,
Yeah,
right? And I think it's a great way to kind of bounce, share some ideas, and all that stuff.
for sure, for sure.
So
So,
I'm gonna ask you a question, or well, more of a statement, right?
hmm
So one of the most common answers I get when I ask, "Do you have a wedding planner or wedding coordinator?" I get told that, "Hey, my brother or my sister, my cousin, my aunt, my uncle, they're amazing at
oh
coordinating, making
my
sure the
god.
wedding's moving along and all that stuff." What's your take on that?
Um, let's say you got a DUI. Are you gonna take your uncle to the court?
If my uncle's a lawyer, why not?
Yeah, okay, a
Right?
lawyer. But if you have an uncle as a wedding planner, wedding coordinator, great, take him. But a professional is a professional. A professional can do so many more things that a family member can. Also, my actually main point, you're taking advantage of your family member. Even if they volunteer, they're not going to volunteer for all the work they have to do. They might have
It is a lot of
volunteered.
work.
It's a lot of work. They
And it's
might have,
stressful.
very stressful, very stressful. You want them to have fun at your wedding, or do you want them to be taking on all the stress?
No,
Especially.
100%. I've seen some weddings where, you know, bridal parties fall apart because of the stress, bridezillas, groomzillas, and all that stuff, right? things need to go perfectly and all that stuff. And it's the biggest day of your life,
For
right?
sure. As a wedding planner, your coordinator main job honestly is people management.
Hmm.
And yeah, your family member can be good at telling you, hey, it's time to do this, hey, it's time to do this, but they're not going to be managing people behind even, some problem comes up. They're not going to go behind your back and go
Absolutely.
manage it.
Yep.
They're going to come to you.
And great point on this, right? I've seen this at countless weddings, right? Um, when a sibling, a cousin's trying to manage people, right? What ends up happening is they aren't comfortable being confrontational
Hmm.
to their elders, right? When an elder is like, "Hey, we want to go take stage pictures right now," right? But according to the timeline, according to the DJ, according to the flow of events, it's actually time to go do the first dance or whatever, right?
Hmm.
Um, cousin, the friend, all they're just not comfortable with it. Versus a planner or a coordinator, they're paid to manage that, right?
Again,
So
when somebody volunteers, they might have not volunteered for this,
yeah,
but they're stuck in that position
correct.
now. So they don't know what they're getting themselves into most of the times. So get a professional wedding planner. Yes, if you can afford it, if you have the budget for it, and if you
Hmm.
think they're valuable, wedding planners are very valuable. They're going to help you with everything A to Z. Wedding coordinators, they might have a day of coordinator, a package, a week of coordinator package, or even like we do, our minimum is month of coordination package. We can only do so much in a day or a week, so we don't do that. We like to get involved. We like to get meet the family, bridal party, and start the timeline a month before.
No, makes sense.
So wedding coordinator, 100%. Yes, you need one.
Okay, I'll take it. So last question about this topic, right? I'm a project manager,
Mm-hmm.
right? I'm very organized.
Mm-hmm.
I work with workflows, timelines on pretty much on a
Okay.
daily basis, right? Um, you know, I've done courses on waste, like in terms of removing waste from
Mm-hmm.
a scenario or anything
Okay.
like that, right? So, as many of my clients are also project managers, um, what's your take on that? Like,
I've had couples who are project managers and they come to me very directly. They're like, we want you, we need you because we want things done in a specific way. And we don't want a family member to take care of this. We don't want anybody else. We need a professional to do it the way we want it done. And I think most project managers, you know,
understand that?
understand
Yeah,
that they know that they
because they're
need the right
specialized.
person to for the job.
Yep, that makes sense. All right, curveball here.
Uh-huh.
All right, day of coordinators from
Mhm.
the venue versus a third party.
That's a big I mean, if a venue offers day of coordination, great, take it immediately. But if you want a week off, a month off, that's obviously different. A venue offers it, take it immediately. If the venue says venue coordinator, not a wedding coordinator, there's a big difference there.
And I think that is a very, very important point, right? I've seen venue coordinators that only have the best interest for the venue,
Uh huh.
right? I'm not gonna put names out there, but there's some really big venues around that we've had that experience where the bride and groom thought they were getting a wedding coordinator, but it ends up being a venue coordinator. They'll take care of the food, they'll take care of the small stuff like that, but not essentially the entire flow of the event.
If the venue does not cater, they do not touch the food. At White's Ferry Manor, my venue, we have liability insurance and all of that. If it's not our catering, food is not our job. It's not the venue coordinator. It is the venue's coordinator's job to make sure they have enough
Well,
tables
yeah, that's what I
for
mean.
their
Yep.
food. Whatever they want to put on top of the tables is on the caterer.
Gotcha, gotcha. But yeah, so it's something to definitely keep an eye out on. Make sure you're getting a wedding coordinator, not a venue coordinator.
For
Big
sure.
difference. If you are spending the money, make sure you're getting a wedding coordinator.
Yeah, at least a wedding coordinator to make sure your flow of the event timeline, because venue only gives you a certain number of
Hmm.
hours. You want it done. You want everything you want done during that time. How many times have you had
Oh my god, I
during
know where
your
this is going.
during your photo shoot before like the event has started? You're
Hmm.
doing your couple's portraits.
Hmm.
Vendors are coming in. How many times have you had vendors call?
Every single time that we've done it.
Yeah,
Um,
vendors are getting calls from the couples are getting calls from the vendors.
yep,
Hey, we're here. Where do we park? And what is to do? Blah blah blah. Where are you?
yep. I recall a story, right? So we're in DC, we're at the Lincoln Memorial. Groom's literally MIA. You can see him completely angry on on the far side,
Yeah.
just chewing someone out. I asked him what's going on. He's saying a one of the vendors ended up in the wrong location. He went to another venue,
Oh my
which
gosh.
was about 45 minutes away from where he was supposed to be and all.
Mm.
So that pushed back the entire event because you can't get started without him,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I'm sure as a planner, I'm hoping
Yeah.
that you share your timelines,
100%.
locations, all that
We
stuff.
make sure everything that every vendor needs has been taken care of before the event. And sometimes, yeah, we give our phone numbers to all the vendors, but sometimes we even take the phones from the couples
Hmm.
and they're like, we don't want to do anything. We don't want to be unplugged. We take their phones away and we answer their calls. So they're having a chill day, they're having fun.
Makes sense. You know, you just sparked another idea for me.
Mm.
Unplugged weddings.
Unplugged
We should
weddings,
do a episode about that.
for
Pros and
sure.
cons,
Yeah.
right? I think during COVID we saw a lot of it,
Mhm.
and now it's kind of starting to phase back out and all.
Mhm.
But we should definitely talk about that in a future episode.
Mhm. Mhm.
So let's transition a little bit, right? So we talked about planners and coordinators, right? I think planners is a maybe, right? I think it depends on your personal budget
Yes.
about how much you value your sanity and your what your wallet can afford, right? Coordinators, I think, are absolutely imperative. I think it'll make your day better. It'll make the day of your wedding day more enjoyable for your family, for your friends, for your brothers, sisters, cousins, whoever was being your coordinator on that day, right? So let's move on.
Yeah. What do you think about videographers? Do you need a videographer?
I'm like a 50-50 on this, right?
Really?
I from a personal and, being in as a photographer, cinematographer, capturing memories is what we do, right?
Mhm.
After the day is all wrapped up, you're done with the event, you go home. Realistically, the only thing you're taking away from is your photos or videos. So since we're talking specifically about videos, right? I want to talk a little bit more in depth about what
Yeah,
is a
because
video.
I've had a lot of couples come to me and saying, "We don't need videographer.
Hmm.
We'll be okay. Photographer, everybody's like, yes, we need one.
Yep.
Everybody's convinced on that. But a videographer, a lot of people don't think it is necessary, but it's so important."
Yeah, I agree. So we offer both. We do photo and cinematography. Um, Kind of think of it in this way, right? You're gonna tell me that hey, we can make videos on our phone, right? Absolutely. iPhone's an amazing camera, no doubt about that, right? But let's now think about lighting, audio, right? Visual effects and all that stuff. You spend thousands of dollars on those floral arrangements, on the decor. If you don't have proper lighting, either your stage is gonna be really bright and your subject's gonna be really dark, or the person giving the speech is gonna be really dark. That's our job to make sure that it looks proper for you, right? Now let's fast forward 5, 10, 15 years down the road when you're sitting down with your kids, your grandkids, right? Your parents and all that stuff, and want to relive one of the biggest days of your life, how are you going to share that? Photos are awesome. It's a quick snapshot of whatever was happening,
Yeah, but
but you lose the audio.
how many people are actually going to go through 1,000 pictures?
Well, you got to remember, right? Not all photo albums are 1,000 photos,
Yeah.
right? An actual physical album is usually
Mm-hmm.
about 100 and 150 photos,
Hmm.
right? So it's sure, I'm sure the family members will go scroll through it and all that
Mm-hmm.
stuff, but a coffee book table is usually about
Mm-hmm.
150, 100 photos on average, right? But we're talking about videos right now,
Mm-hmm.
so let's continue on video. Video, I feel like it's important because it's emotion. You
Mm.
audio and video, when you combine both visually together, you're capturing emotions,
That's a good point.
right? So now imagine, and this was a wedding. I want to talk about a wedding that we captured together. I believe you helped out with this wedding. Was Shabaz's wedding?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think late 2020, sometime around
Mm.
there. We we were covering the wedding. It was a groomsman speech or best man speech, right? And we had the groom behind on the stage, and we had the best man on the dance floor. He was giving this really touching speech.
Mm-hmm.
Um, a quick snippet of the speech, real quick. So, it was a Pakistani wedding. Bride and groom both were Pakistani. The best man was actually American, speaking English. Um, you know, but he surprised everyone where he took the time and learned Urdu for the speech itself,
Yeah.
right? Delivered the entire minute and a half speech in Urdu.
That was, I saw everybody getting emotional, and everybody, it was very
Yeah,
entertaining, it was very funny, and everybody got super attached
yeah.
and
Like even
emotions.
even for me, like I had a little, my eyes watered up and all that
Yeah.
stuff. It's a really touching speech, right? So talking from a video perspective, you know, I can actually now capture multiple angles, get the audio, get the visual, and tie that in for you guys to kind of relive that moment. I know both of them are listening right now to this podcast, and they know exactly what I'm talking about. A photo would have only captured that one moment of, either Shabaz's reaction or the best man's reaction, but you missed such an important part of it, which was the audio of it.
For sure, you brought up a good point. People can take videos on iPhones, but most videographers go record that audio that comes out of a microphone and
Correct.
put that in the video.
Correct.
So it makes a big, 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 big difference. And I've seen
Yep.
outcomes. Highlight videos are
Hmm.
amazing. I love highlight videos, and a very easy way to share with your whole family, extended family, and everybody can get to be a
And
part
the
of it.
people that aren't able to be there,
Yeah.
right? One of the big things COVID taught us was live streaming,
Yeah.
right? Family members weren't able to make it. That's a service that a videographer would offer you, right?
Mhm.
Um, Very important. I know most of us with the South Asian descent have family members spread all across the world. Sometimes they aren't able to make it. They're elderly, may not be able to travel, whatever the reason be, right? It's a service that videographers offer. So I think I'm a yes on this category, Saj. What do you think?
100%. At least if you don't want to splurge on a videographer, at least get something. They make a big
Yeah,
difference.
absolutely. So next topic I want to chat about is cake.
Oh my god. Cakes are overdone. Cakes are a no for me. You do not need
They
a
taste good
wedding cake.
sometimes.
Yeah, they taste good, but I would much rather recommend taking that money and spending it on a dessert table or something else rather than a cake. I think honestly, in the next few years, I think wedding cake cuttings are gonna be done.
I don't. So I'm gonna disagree there a little bit. I don't think the cake cutting will go away. I think they're going to become a little bit smaller,
Hmm.
right? I don't think you need a 6 tier cake, right? And just to go up there just to cut it and all that stuff, right? I do think they're going to come down a little bit,
Hmm.
where it's just going to be like a corner of the cake where you actually cut it,
Hmm.
right? Feed each other and all that stuff, and there's going to be like a sheet cake behind
Yeah,
somewhere, right?
fake cakes are pretty in.
Yeah, and that's what I kind of see the trends going towards right now. Um,
The person that wants a 6 tier cake, they're gonna get a
get
six
it?
tier
Yep,
cake. But do you need one?
probably not.
You do not need
Yeah,
one.
I agreed. Agreed.
What about formal officiant?
Minus the religious aspects.
Yeah, if you're not getting married in a church, mosque, a temple, gurdwara, or mandir, you do not need
Yep,
a formal officiant to come out to your winery, and you get a family member, get a family of uncle, family friend, somebody close to you,
hmm
and it'll be much more personal to you. I saw so many of those during COVID because most of
everyone
our
was married already.
most of
Hmm
the clients were already married, and this was just after COVID. Sorry, this was just their reception
hmm
part, party part. So
And they
they just
wanted to have an aisle wedding and all
yeah,
that
they
stuff.
just
Yep,
wanted the
makes sense.
ceremony for pictures and
Yeah.
all that.
So just to be clear, right, we're talking mostly about like civil ceremony type
Mm-hmm.
of style, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. I think you can go without it. I've seen several weddings where brothers, sister, not sisters, usually brothers, kind of officiate the wedding. Sisters, if you want to officiate the wedding, please do so. Let's do
Hey,
it.
everybody can
Absolutely.
anybody can officiate is what I'm trying to say. It's much more touching and personal
Person.
if a
Yep.
family member does it.
Absolutely. I agree. So I know this isn't one that normally gets discussed in this topic, What about MCs?
MCs is a good one. You 100%, if your DJ does not offer MC service, 100%, I would say you need one again. We are talking about a traditional wedding when you have all these things done, all these vendors done, when you are spending the average amount of money. Not a backyard wedding, of course. You do 100%, you need an MC, you need a proper person to be making these announcements. I've seen so many weddings where a family member is doing it, and you might not realize it yourself, but you can sound really rude
Rude. Yep.
and uh
And you try not to, but
aggressive.
it's just,
You're
you
not
know,
used to it.
yeah,
It's again people management, right? To talk to a people and say something, hey guys, I need you to get off the dance floor right now, in a very nice way. You might
that's
not
true.
know how to do that, but I've seen family members be so rude and they don't know they're being rude, and be so aggressive and they don't know they're being aggressive,
Absolutely, that's right.
and it can kill the whole vibe.
Yeah, and also entertainment aspects of it as well, right? Like having a MC kind of move the event, be entertaining, like the party during downtimes and all that stuff. I
Mm-hmm.
think that makes a big impact on a wedding day, right? Like as you're transitioning between scenes and all that stuff, right? Other thing is from an MC, they're also kind of breaking the language barrier,
Mm,
right? I've seen countless weddings where we've attended, the family member that's emceeing the event is talking their native tongue, right? But you have a third of the wedding that's, doesn't speak that tongue or doesn't understand it, right? So you're kind of, I wouldn't say it's disrespectful in a way, but at the same time, you're kind of leaving them out,
yeah,
right?
for sure. As a caterer too, I definitely try to fill in that gap. You have multiple different types of people. You want everybody to
Feel
feel
inclusive.
included,
Yep.
and that's a good point.
Yeah. No, so I think that was a pretty solid list
That was a
of
good
do you
list.
need
We can
maybe a part two, three, four, who knows? And if
if
you,
if you guys think we missed something or do you have a good idea, put it in the comments, and for sure I think we can make a part 2 of this.
absolutely, let's do it. All right, guys. Well, thank you guys for joining us here at the Wedding
Yeah,
Podcast.
we
We hope you guys are enjoying the content. As always, make sure you follow us, like the post, and all that. Until next time, keep chasing your dreams,
peace out. Good night, good morning, whatever you're doing. Have fun doing it, and good luck.
and Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.